Hi and welcome to another video. Today I'll be creating this beautiful live user filter option. You can filter by using names. Whenever you type your name, you can filter them. And it will also show the loading if there is some person with that name. I'm just taking 50 candidates. You can add more candidates and I'll be fetching these data with the help of an API. So this can be a major project because most of the big or huge apps that we create in future have an API. So the data will be fetched from an API. Now I'm creating a div of class container. Inside the div of class container, we will have a header. We are starting with the index.html, then we will proceed to the design or live chat filter using CSS, and then we will give the functionality using script.js. Giving a title of live user filter. Now adding a small tag with a class of subtitle. Inside the subtitle, we will create a search by name option or location. You can add anyone and you will be able to filter them based on these options. I will only take 50 rows or 50 names in that. You can add up to 1000 or up to 2000 users as well. Input type text and name of filter, ID of filter and placeholder search. Okay. Now below the header we will create a list with an ID of result. We will also create a class of user list. Inside that user list, we will create a list with an heading and you will give it a loading 3. And whenever the data is fetched, this will be instead of showing the loading, we will show the users. Now let's style it, initializing the box sizing to border box, giving a body to box color to F8, F9, FD, whitish color, and giving a font family. You can give any font family you want, and then display of flex. Align center, align item center, justify content center as well. Height should be 100 VH. Overflow should be hidden. Margin should be 0. Now you can see everything is on the center of what I wanted. Now I will take the container, the main container, and give it a border radius of 5 pixels. Box shadow should be 3 pixels, 3 pixels, 10 pixels, and RGBA of 0, 0, 0 and 0.2. Now give an overflow of hidden. Width should be 300 pixels. And I got the box basically, but let's start with the title. I will get a margin of 0. Basically you might have noticed that I usually don't prefer to give margin in the beginning, and I take everything margin and paddings to be 0. Now I will take the subtitle and give it an in-like block. Margin should be 5 pixels and 0, 20 pixels. Now let's take the header, and for the header you can see the header class. Give it a background color of hash 3E57DB, bluish color. Give it a color of white, padding of 30 pixels and 20 pixels. Now you can see that header looks good. Now take the header, inside the header take the input field. Background color should be RGBA of 000 and an opacity of 0.3. Border should be 0. Border radius should be 50 pixels. Color should be white. Font size should be 14 pixels. Padding should be 10 pixels, 15 pixels. And width should be 100%. Now you can see how good it looks. Now I will take the header class and give the input show focus. Whenever you focus it, you know I don't like the style. So I will give it an outline of none. But now when you focus it, you don't get what you were seeing previously. Now let's take the user list. Inside the HTML you would see that I have created the class of user list. Give it a background or color of white. The list style should be none because I don't like the dot before loading, and for all my users which will be fetching using an API in the JavaScript, giving a padding and margin of 0. Max height should be 400 pixels. Overflow should be Y should be auto, because you can see that all the numbers or all the people list should be in the y-axis. Now inside the user list, and we are taking the li and giving the display of flex. Padding should be 20 pixels. so that you can see now. Now giving it the user list of taking the image, giving the image of border radius 50%, so the image should be in circular form. Object fit should be cover, height should be 50 pixels, width should be 50 pixels as well. But now you might not be able to see the image yet because I have not fetched it using JavaScript, but I am designing it before showing it. Now you can see that inside the user list there will be a user info as well, which I will be creating using JavaScript, but I have not created it yet. I am telling you. And the things I am basically styling now does not exist, but I will create them using JavaScript. Now you can see that I will add a user info. User info is not in my HTML till now, but I will add it in JavaScript, and I will also add it adding for which is not already there, but I will create it later on. Also taking a paragraph and just simply giving a font size of 21 or 12 pixels. Now let's taking user info li and not if lost of type, giving it a border bottom of 1 pixel solid for the last element which I will be getting in my list. Giving it a white. Now user list li dot hide display should be none. Okay, now let's create the which I created in style.css. I will create them using JavaScript. Let's take all the variables and take document dot get element by id, and I'm taking the result. Now let's make another variable of filter, document dot get element by id filter. You can see that I already made them, created the filter and that of result. Now let's create another one which is list items, basically an array const filter data. Now the first function is used for the filter data, filter term, creating an arrow function. List item should be for each, it should run through it or iterate through it, taking an item parameter, starting with an if statement. If the item dot inner text dot to lowercase, if that's the case, dot includes, if it includes that of search term to lowercase, if this happens, item dot class list dot remove hide, which I created in style.css. Otherwise add it. Add what? Add the hide. You will be understanding this, what this function does. Now let's create another function of get data. It will be an async function, and creating an async function, and after creating that, putting it, let's create an arrow. Okay, const result await fetch. Now the link I am writing here is the API link, using which I am getting that data. I will show you in a while. It's a random using a user API.me /API and results. I'm just taking 50 results. You can add 1,000 or whatever you want. I'm just taking the first 50. Now taking the const result and giving it a weight, this result.json. Now result.inner text, inner HTML, results dot for each, and for the for each loop, putting a user as a parameter const li document dot create element. Now I am creating the elements which I use in my style.css. You can see here I already added them, but I am creating them here. I already styled those elements. List item should push this. Basically this is, you can see I am pushing it in that. I hope you are familiar with push and pop functions. Stack or heap does. Now li.inner HTML equal to, I am customly ending or I basically have an image source and I am adding $ user.picture.log. What this does is it fetches data from the API. Also adding an alternate user.name.first from the API. Now let's create a div of class user info. This user info, you might have remembered I created this or I designed it in my style.css already, and h4 heading and a paragraph as well in my style.css. I've already done styling with, I've already styled it in my style.css, but I'm creating them here. User.name.first, creating another user.name.last. Now creating another paragraph and doing the same. User.location.city, dollar user.location.country. Now you can see whenever I open this, you can see all the data is already there. But I'm just taking 50 of them. You can get this data. You can see that it has name, number, city, everything. Okay. Now just simply result dot append child, I am appending it within the li of the where there is loading, and now calling this function get data. Now filter dot add event listener to it, input, creating an arrow function with an event, filter data target e.target.value, loading it. Now you can say, oh, I am not getting the pictures. Let me see the pictures or not. I am not able to get it. Okay, I have not added my quotation mark. Now you can see the images, and now I am getting what I really wanted, all the elements. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. I hope you like it. Thank you so much.